Hey, welcome back to Tripod's Garage. And this is Tripod, as you can tell. And I have a fence. That'll be in another video. And I'm outside, so there's lots of noise and trains, planes, and automobiles that I can't control. That's why I don't like filming outside. Anyways, today is something awesome. This is the MowRator S1 Pro all-wheel drive remote control lawnmower. Yeah, remote control. Have you ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where they have a remote control gas lawnmower?
Wow! Yeah! And this. Oh, it's a remote control! Tell you what, you throw in a box of cookies, I'll let you cut the whole thing.
Nowhere near like that, because this is all electric. Yes, it's just a big old battery, and you operate it by remote control. It has lots of safety features that we'll go over, and it looks like Tripod's already enjoying a beer and mowing the lawn. Well, let's continue having him do it, and we'll go over some of the features of this right now. So on front of the lawnmower, you have a bumper guard. So if it bumps into anything, it'll stop. But you have 4 ultrasonic sensors around the front. Think about it as a backup sensor for your car. And actually, we hear it on the remote right now. So you can see on the display right here that where the sensors are being triggered. And this could actually be overwritten by going to settings, and you could actually turn that off if it gets annoying and you want to mow a little bit closer. And what we have here is an operational light. Right now it's green, but as we approach, you will see that that's going to change because now there's a warning, and it's letting you know that's a warning. And then also you can actually override this with an emergency stop, and then look, it changes the color to a pinkish red. So lots of safety in this. And you can adjust the ride height very easily. It's spring loaded. So typically we like it on a 3-inch, but some people may want 2, but you can see how nice and easy it is to change. And of course, it doesn't come out of the box like this. There's some assembly that's required. So let's head to the garage and show you how that's done now. Now this weighs over 120 pounds, and yeah, I got some other challenges too. Oreo and Gunner always wanted to see what's happening. So let's go ahead and try to get this into the garage. Being handicapped and on crutches for over 35 years definitely has its challenges enough. And then trying to move heavy objects, well, my brain is wired a little bit differently. And that has its own challenges in itself. So that's how I moved this into the garage. Getting out of the box, well, that's going to be another challenge in itself. As you can see, everything is really well packaged. You have this quick start guide that walks you through basically everything. And Gunner is definitely the inspector on this one. He wants to make sure I am doing everything by the book. Well, Gunner, I don't think I will be unboxing this by the book because I'm all by myself. And here's one of the wheels. They are actually 2 pieces, and the yellow insert comes out. Here's the remote control. It is touchscreen. It's proprietary to this lawnmower. It's pretty darn cool looking. And here's your user manual. Another tire, wheel, and here's another one. Again, the rim comes out, and there is the 4th one. And here is the cage for the lawnmower bag. Yes, it can be collecting as well. Here's the charger. It's external. The charger is rather beefy, and it has some weight to it with a cooling fan. Remove some more foam here, and it looks like we have some hardware here, which is screws with thread lock on it, extra screws too, and you have some tools off to the side there. Remove some more foam, and yeah, let's go ahead and actually take out this battery. You're going to actually pull back that orange clip, and I'm only removing this battery, so maybe it'll be a little bit lighter for me to get out. And let's go ahead and secure the lid back down. Let's go ahead and remove the rear chute cover. As I mentioned, I do things a little bit differently. We're going to use this box to our advantage here a little bit, and we're going to rest the front on the top of the box here so I can get the front wheels on. Again, these are a two-piece design here, and these yellow inserts are basically your rim, and we're going to go ahead and just slide these on. And you want to make sure that those grooves have the thread holes in them. And we're going to actually just tap them on here. Then we're going to take our 6 screws and start to thread them in. You'll notice that each of these wheels have arrows on it. That points to where the actual threads are on the hub. These hubs are actually motors themselves. So each motor has its own separate drive. And that's will enable it to actually turn on a dime, and you'll see how nicely it turns. Again, this is how I'm doing it. Again, this weighs a lot. It's full metal here, so you may definitely be doing it differently. I did not have anyone home at the time, and I really wanted to get this thing unboxed. And yep, there we go. It is now out of the box. If you do decide to lift it, make sure it's a team lift operation. So now I'm going to actually do the reverse here. I'm going to prop the back end on the box, and I'm going to use that kind of as a jack. And these little foam inserts were a real pain to remove. I mean, a real pain. Actually, I spent about 5 minutes removing it. And then we're going to, again, insert those 6 screws. And I'm actually kind of like torquing them down like you would when you replace a tire for a flat tire. You're just going to go to the screw on opposite sides. And that way you're doing equal pressure all the way around. On the back, you have this plug. That is for mulching mode. So if you're ever going to mulch, you want to make sure this plug is always in. That way it will circulate and you can do mulching. Now we're going to insert and install this cover. It takes 4 screws. I found this to be a little bit of a pain to get the screws started, but then right here you're just going to see me tighten them down. And these are the shorter screws. Next, we're going to put the bag on the cage. Basically everything is just snapped fit on, all the sides and everything. You can see that it's rather simple, but it's kind of annoying at the same time. But once you get the process down, it all snaps together quite easily. Basically you just twist and push, and that's how it gets all snapped in. Now if you want to use the grass bag, you just go and remove the plug for mulching and then leave the door open. And then there's 2 pegs where the grass bag just rests on, and then the little spring back here holds it down in place. Now I'm going to just insert the battery pack that I removed earlier. You just press on that and lift up. And you're going to want to make sure that that orange latch is pushed back, move the power cable out of the way. And then once you put the battery pack in, you're going to pull the orange latch on, and then you're going to plug in your power. Push it down and then fold down the little pull tab. And then you're going to just push it down and it'll lock. Now to charge it, we're going to use this external charger, and it has its connector here that you're going to plug into the battery. So we're going to push down the lock to lift up the lid, lift up the little flap, pull the little handle, and remove the cable. And it has a little stay that we're going to just push that into just to keep it out of the way. Now we're going to go ahead and plug in the charging cable, and we're just going to find a place somewhere to rest it. I guess on the front bumper will do. You'll see that there's a charge status ring on here. Once it has the 4th one green, you're ready to go. And you'll see on the back here that it actually has some operating instructions. You know, open the cover, place the battery, lock the clasp, connect the cable, press the button, and close the cover. That's to actually just go ahead and turn it on. As you can see, it's now all assembled and ready to go. This looks like a regular lawnmower, I mean, from front to back, but you have the added fun of using that awesome remote control. And just make sure that you read over the manual. It has a lot of features, and you can see that it's adjustable from the height, and it has markers for, you know, indicator lights and emergency stop buttons on both sides. This is the all-wheel drive version, and you can see right there, the S1 Pro all-wheel drive. Pretty simple to get going. You know what also simple? PCBWay, today's video sponsor. Are you looking for a PCB manufacturer? Are you looking for rigid, flexible PCBs? Are you looking for them to assemble them for you? Well, they can. And they also offer other services such as 3D printing, injected molding, and CNC. Heck, they even have a community section where you could buy a project and assemble it on your own. If you're looking for any of these services, please reach out to PCBWay. Now we're going to start the blade. We have to press the 2 top shoulder buttons at the same time, press them down, and then you can hit on the screen, start, and that'll start the blade. Now if we remove both shoulder buttons, the blade will stop. It's a safety feature. So let's start it again. Now all you have to do is remove one finger. You always have to have a shoulder button pressed on either side to keep the blade going. That is a safety feature. You'll notice on the display it says auto U-turn. So on the buttons right above the joysticks, you'll see you have those U-turn buttons that you can enable where it can do an auto U-turn. But I'm actually not going to use that during this test because I want to get used to driving this around with the remote control and be a little bit more proficient at it. And right above the screen where you see the arrow or going up, that is for cruise control. So you could actually use it, the cruise control feature, if you so choose as well. There are 3 speeds, and I am choosing the middle speed. I think that's the overall good speed for this, especially for the grass as long as it is. If you have taller grass, I would definitely suggest the slower speed, but actually with this, maybe even full speed may be good as well, but it is really doing a great job. Now when you compare this to other lawnmowers out there, this is a different class of lawnmower. This is basically just like a regular lawnmower that you would normally have because it has a real blade on it. Most of the autonomous ones and stuff like that just have like small razor blades. This is a true lawnmower. It has a 21-inch mulching blade on there. And I'm choosing to mulch versus to have a rear discharge into the lawn bag. And right now we're actually in my neighbor's yard because we're replacing our fence. As you can see, the neighbor's fence, well, his neighbor's fence is still battered, and we've been working on ours for a little while now. So I want to thank him for letting us do this. You'll see that the front end articulates. That helps with uneven terrain. It helps keep the lawnmower stable. And this lawnmower is making short work of this grass. And Mrs. Tripod is actually helping me with this. She tried to take over the drone, but yeah, it was a little bit easier for her to actually adjust to the lawnmower. I have really RC car background. She has 0 RC car experience, and you can see that she's drifting off a little bit, but that lawnmower is quite a distance away at that point. That was about 60 feet away. Now the wife actually did go ahead and fill up some of the big divots in the yard to help prevent any damage to actually any of the lawnmowers I've been testing. And this is when sitting in some chairs is to your disadvantage because you can't really grasp the overlap as well. So you're going to want to actually move around with the lawnmower here and there, and you'll see this in the time lapse. I actually get up and I move around, and plus the remote said that I was getting too far away from the lawnmower. And we'll get to that a little bit later in the video. Now there are some inclines, but that's beyond our property line here, but I wanted to show you what it looks like going over this hill. And this is actually a steeper grade than what it appears on video. And it just went up it with ease. Actually, you'll notice that it actually started going down pretty fast. So you're going to want to make sure that you adjust your throttle because otherwise it's going to really want to coast down on its own. So you're going to definitely want to learn how to control it going downhill as well as uphill. Uphill is effortless. And then it was saying towards here, you'll hear it. That is now out of range. So then I had to get my handicap ass over there to be on camera there and control it, and gotta love my hat. Yep, it's an amazing hat. My wife makes sure I wear it all the time when I'm outside because my bald head gets sunburned quite easily, and the top of my ears too. My daughter absolutely hates that hat. I think I wear it just out of spite now. But if you have hills and uneven terrain, this will do it effortlessly. Now this does have, like obstacle avoidance sensors. Think of it as a backup radar type thing. I believe they're ultrasonic. And when you are backing up a car that have those sensors in the rear, it beeps at you. This is the same type of thing. However, it will not let you get any closer. Now, I did disable that through the remote control, so I could actually get really close to my neighbor's side of his house. And I'm just doing this with the remote control, and I've just got very comfortable with it. Now you can see how fast I turn it, even without using that U-turn feature, and I get super close to the house and this well here, and yeah, it does a great job. Now, of course, you're going to still have to use like a weed whacker or trimmer, because just like any lawnmower, you can only get as close as you can without scratching something. But as you can see, it does a really good job. And it's up to you if you want to have that ultrasonic turned off. I found it to be, myself, rather annoying feature, but again, after I got used to how to drive it, you see how close now I get to the fence without any worry. But you may want to keep it on. Just remember, it will not go anywhere. It will actually shut down if you get too close. Now, I wanted to give you a understanding of how fast you could actually mow the lawn. This is not time lapse or anything. This is just me being a lot more experienced just after a few minutes of familiarizing myself with the lawnmower. I'm not using any of the cruise control. I'm not doing any of the automated U-turns. This is just me just using the remote control and going back and forth. Of course, there's no obstacles here or anything, but you can see how fast you could actually get this done. This is on medium speed, and you can see that it's just doing everything at one pass. And of course, you're going to want to do some type of overlap, and that's up to you to decide. I usually do about a third here, as you will see. And I mean, this thing just also spins on a dime. Look at that. You just go. And you can see I'm doing about a third to a quarter of an overlap per pass. I am literally like a kid operating this thing. It is just so much fun. And typically I don't go to the third house, because when I had a riding lawnmower, I would mow across all three properties. And when these neighbors moved in, they never even said thank you. I did it for 2 years. Thank you just goes a long way. So when I do the lawns now, I just usually avoid theirs. You know, if they say thank you at least once, maybe, just maybe, I'll be nice and actually do it. But always be nice to your neighbors. And maybe they'll say thank you this time for doing their parkway. But, you know, I digress. But now let's go ahead and go towards the curb here. And I'm going to ride along the top of the curb. And typically when people are doing remote control, what messes them up is when it faces you. But as you can see, it keeps a real nice straight line, and I didn't have to touch the controls at all. And I was able to get it nice and trimmed all the way. Well, almost all the way. There's a couple stragglers. And I just don't know what to say. It does such a nice, fast job. I did my neighbor's yard, front and back, in approximately less than an hour. I mean, look at how nice it just mowed. I mean, it's perfect. And all this was done the first time. Pretty nice. Now, what are some of the positives and the negatives? Well, let's go over some of the positives first. This thing is built like a tank, and it's super heavy, it's rigid, and yeah, it is just built so solid. This is the all-wheel drive one, and it's the 4 separate motors, so it could go over any type of terrain, and it could spin on a dime. It has different driving modes for slow, medium, and fast, and it will cut on the first pass. It has tons of safety features, from keeping one of your fingers on the remote at all times to keep the blade engaged, emergency stop buttons on the top, and as well as the ultrasonic obstacle avoidance. You can choose to mulch, or you could do a bag discharge of the grass. And then it has some other capabilities, like it could tow, and then you could have what's called the bag auto dump if you so choose. Now let's go over some of the negatives. This is not water resistant. You cannot get it wet, so it always has to be stored in a dry, cool place. I would like to see a charging port on the side. some type of way of charging it besides opening up the lid, disconnecting the battery, and doing all that. And the cable for the charger should be longer. I think the biggest complaint I have of this is the distance. I understand it's a safety thing, and that they just want to make sure that you are in line of sight of the lawnmower at all times. It would say that I was out of range, and I was nowhere close to the 131 feet, and there was no obstacles around me, no overhanging trees or anything, and I was still getting it consistently.
Max range. Please return.
But my overall experience has definitely been a positive one. It was such a blast to use, and it just cut so efficiently. So if you found this review helpful and you're looking to purchase this MowRator, there's an affiliate link down below. I want to thank you for tuning in to Tripod's Garage. Please have a wonderful day, evening, or weekend, or whenever you decide to watch this video. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you the next time on Tripod's Garage.